So let's talk 2021 Arnold Classic. William Bonac looks the most impressive on paper. What does that mean? Sergio Oliva Jr., according to Nick Strength and Power, would be the most entertaining win. And a lot of pundits believe that just because you're qualified for the Olympia means you have no personal pride in how you look at the Arnold Classic. And we're back for another edition of This Week in Bodybuilding, brought to you courtesy of TitanMedicalCenter.com for all your TRT, medical weight loss, glutathione, and so much more. Oh yeah, the new ECA Plus stock. How could you forget that? All right, guys, so the 2021 Arnold Classic will probably be one of the greatest events in its history, one of the deepest lineups. I mean, you've got champions like Cedric McMillan, two-time defending champion William the Conqueror Bonac. You've got 2018 Olympia People's Champion Ruli Winkler. You've got Akeem Williams, who last year was top 6 at the Olympia, who has started working with Abdullah, who's going to look, in my opinion, just insane. I mean, insane. So, I mean, there's just so much talent. You got, of course, Nick Walker. You got Justin Rodriguez. You got Max Charles, who Max Charles is like he's a road warrior. I mean, the guy just shows like back to back. This is a old school throwback to the old days of hardcore bodybuilding. So I mean, there's a lot of talent here. Now, of course, you know, I would be remiss if I didn't like listen to like Nick Strength and Power, Desktop Bodybuilding, Arcs Muscle, and MD to kind of help shape my perspective, because my perspective can't be limited to just what I think. I have to listen to what other people have to say. And so, you know, Nick Strength and Power is talking about, you know, the most entertaining win, you know, and his opinion, the most entertaining win would be Sergio Oliva Jr. winning. Now, you know, Sergio has had some personal issues. I like the guy. He's very, very outspoken. You know, brings a good physique, good poser, knows how to entertain the audience, likes the fans, likes what he does. So overall, like a really cool dude. I think very highly of Sergio. We have not seen him compete though in a little bit, and I think he could win. I don't know that necessarily his winning would be the most entertaining. I mean, I think Nick Strength and Power comes up with these unusual thought patterns. I don't know if they're aimed at getting hits or pissing people off. I mean, Justin Rodriguez earlier in the year, I think, was like annoyed that, you know, Nick Strength and Power did not consider him as a front runner in the new generation of bodybuilding, or at least not in the little group that he picked. You know, that's the thing. When you do handicapping, I think a big part of that is you're going to get a lot of people arguing. You're going to get a lot of blowback, but in the end, you're going to get a lot of hits. And so I think that's what he's trying to do. You know, when he says that William Bonac, you know, looks the most impressive on paper, to me that's extremely offensive because William Bonac is a two-time Arnold Classic champion, Mr. Olympia runner-up. You know, he says that he slipped up last year. He didn't slip up last year, Nick. And I can say Nick because I've met you in person. We've met in person and talked. Nick, how can you say that William Bonac slipped up last year? He didn't slip up last year. He tried to bring in more size. He tried something new. Trying something new, my man, is not slipping up. I know you're by you saying that he's slipping up, you're trying to kind of paint a picture that is just not an accurate picture of the Conqueror, okay? So that's number one. Number two that I found very troubling in his whole assessment of the situation is the fact that he seems to believe that the guys that are qualified, so the guys that are qualified that are already going to have a spot at the 2021 Mr. Olympia, in his mind are not going to come in at 100%, which to me, again, I don't understand. So Nick is either trying to piss these guys off, piss off their fans, or he just is totally clueless. I don't think he's totally clueless. I think that this is his way of just kind of like bolstering conversation. I mean, the guys that are already qualified may not need to like come in 110% as if they didn't have a qualification and wanted one. Not that they could get one there anyways, because that Arnold Classic, this year's Arnold Classic, will not qualify you for this year's Mr. Olympia. So, but I think Nick thinks that if Sergio Oliva Jr. wins the Arnold Classic, I don't know why my my light is doing that. It's my camera. It's like, maybe it won't even show up on the camera, but it's going boom, 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 boom. But that's good. It's very theatrical. He may think that if Sergio Oliva Jr. wins the Arnold Classic, and that being so entertaining, that may draw a special invite into the Olympia. That may be what he's thinking. He didn't say that, but he did say that, he made it seem like if he won the Arnold that somehow you get to the Olympia. I don't know. At least that's what I got. He didn't say that. It's just what I got from it. Maybe what I got is wrong. Who knows? I've been wrong many times before. But I don't think that winning the Arnold is going to get you a special invite to the Olympia. In fact, I think they may actually not do the special invite every single year. I don't think that they should be doing it every single year, me personally. That being said, I disagree. I think that the guys that are qualified are guys that are legends. They are guys that have a huge reputation. They are guys that have massive fan bases, not to mention sponsors. I don't think that the qualified guys are going to just go in there like it means nothing. It's the Arnold Classic after all. It's a very, very important competition, second only to the Mr. Olympia. I think guys like Akeem Williams, I think guys like William, come on guys, please. I mean, how can you not have William the Conqueror Bonac winning the Arnold Classic? I mean, come on. To me, that is just stupid. It's stupid. But anyways, so you got Bonac, you got Winkler, you got Williams, you got really, really strong competition. Steve Kuklo is huge competition, don't get me wrong. The Texas Rattlesnake, I believe, is his nickname, or is that Branch Warren? Well, whoever it is, they're both from Texas. The point is that Steve Kuklo is an amazing bodybuilder, works very hard. He's got a physique that I like. But guys, again, William Bonac is such a fierce competitor. I don't know why I'm having to sell this point. He is a two-time Arnold Classic champion, a Mr. Olympia runner-up. I understand you can go back to Kai Green's 2014 Olympia press conference when he would constantly say, that was then and this is now. That was then and this is now. That was then and this is now. It is still now. William Bonac is still Mr. Olympia caliber bodybuilder, is still going to dominate that Arnold Classic stage, is going to get his third Arnold Classic victory. I don't think that there's any doubt about that. Maybe in Nick Strength and Power's mind, and maybe in the media. By the way, Nick Strength and Power also says, and I know I said I'd talk about other media outlets, but I'm only going to talk about Nick Strength and Power because he is the most popular YouTuber. That is why. He is the most popular YouTuber, and in my opinion, by him saying, if Sergio wins the Arnold, it'll be the most entertaining Arnold there is. To me, because of the enormous amount of influence that he has in the industry, to me, he's creating an atmosphere where even his fans and possibly other sponsors will start to say, yeah, wouldn't that be cool? Now I know that doesn't affect the scorecards, but it bothers me because it would be very cool to see William Bonac get a third Arnold Classic title. It would be very cool to see William Bonac win the Arnold and go into the Olympia and win that too. That would be very, very cool. It would be very cool if Nick Strength and Power was a little bit less like nuts. You know what I mean? But the thing is, we're all nuts because we're all fans and we all have our own opinions. But I just think, to me, he's not doing William Bonac any favors or any of the other competitors any favors, but especially William Bonac any favors by saying, if Sergio wins, that would be the most entertaining thing. I don't think that helps at all. And then I find it very, very interesting that the most popular YouTuber also finds it very interesting that William Bonac is posting a lot more about his prep on social media when in the past he never did that. Why do you think he's doing that, Nick? Well, because last year, William Bonac was ignored in Olympia promotions. Willie Winkler was ignored in Olympia promotions. Why? Because they had the 4 Olympia approach. They had Heath, they had Curry, they had Jackson, and they had Lewis. When Lewis dropped out, they brought in Big Ramy. And I don't care what anybody says. In my opinion, it was a promotion move, a production move, whatever you want to call it. Or maybe they just want to make the fans happy, but this is not making the fans happy, a production, promotion move. Anyways, I digress. But he was ignored last year. And what were a lot of the people saying why he was ignored? You weren't ignored because of your physique. You weren't ignored because of your contest record. You were maybe ignored because you weren't so out there. You didn't talk as much. You weren't controversial. Well, he's not going to be controversial, but he's going to share more about his prep. He's going to be more on social media so that maybe people like you, Nick Strength and Power, would actually give him the time of day and not just write him off as, he's the favorite on paper. but that didn't work either. What does this guy have to do, Nick? I'm just curious. What does William Bonac have to do to get on your good side, to get on Desktop Bodybuilding's good side, and More Plates, More Dates good side, RX Muscles good side, Generation Iron's good side, RX Muscles good side? What does this man have to do that he has not already done on stage to get all of you guys to give him the time of day? I don't know. But I love William the Conqueror Bonac. He's my pick to win, not just because he looks the best on paper, but because he'll look the best in person. All right? Yeah. And that'll do it for another edition of This Week in Bodybuilding, brought to you courtesy of TitanMedicalCenter.com. Remember, Team Titan for the win. And leave a comment down below whether you see this on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, wherever you may see it. Leave a comment because I want to know what you have to say.